Here I am in require of, do you know about of the SAP and what it was? And maybe there wasn't a lot of the things will be there, especially why should all the companies are going for the SAP itself nowadays? That was the second one. And the third one will be the being as a mechanical guy or a consultant in SAP, what we need to do. So, do you people having about of these things? I will go for directly to the MM. Others, I will explain these are the things. Whatever you saw.
So you please explain.
Can I?
You please
Correct.
explain, sir, please.
That will be great. That will be great. That will be great. That will be great. See, from my side, first of all, I want to clarify about of these three things. In before of clarifying of these three things, first of all, let me discuss about of the one business organization. Say for example, myself, I am an entrepreneur, and this was my company. And what I am saying that in my company, there was a lot of the transactions will be happening. So whatever my company will be there, in my company, I am having a lot of the transactions. But what I am saying that all of these transactions has been divided into the different departments. Let's take an example of my company is Mankind Farmers. That was my company. And what I'm saying that in my company, a number of the transactions will be happening like sales invoice and as well as the payments and as well as the purchase invoice and as well as the outgoing payments and a lot of the transactions will be happening. But whatever the transactions which was happening in my company, in what I'm saying that all of these transactions is not possible to handle by the one person and as well as the one department. That means all of these transactions has been divided into the different departments. As like as this was my company, in my company all the transactions has been divided into the totally 10 departments. That was my company. That means myself as an entrepreneur, I'm having an organization that was in a forma-based organization. Under this forma-based organization, I'm having the 10 departments. And what I'm saying that in all these 10 departments, I'm having for each and every department 10 employees. That means my total company strength of the employees will be the 100. This is my organization, right? And now, what I'm thinking that I need to maintain my organization into the computerized. That means till now my company was working, but whatever my company was working, it's not in the computerization. It will be the manual. But now what I'm thinking that I need to make my organization into computerized. For that purpose, I need the 100 pieces. I'm having the 100 employees. That means I need the 100 pieces also. So obviously I'm having the money and I have made a purchase of 100 pieces. I have made a purchase of 100 pieces. For each and every user, one piece I have given. But the thing is that whenever 100 users has to be work with the one company, those 100 pieces has to be or 100 users has to be accessed with the some software. We don't are able to work with the MS Office or MS Excel, MS Word or something whatever. So that means the Mankind Formas is wants to make their organization into the computerized. For that purpose, they require one software. But Mankind is a pharma company. They doesn't have any software developers with them. That's why what they are doing that. They have given the contract to one of the IT company. That means the Mankind has been given the contract to one of the IT company. Let's take as an Infosys. And that means Infosys got the project from Mankind. And now what the Infosys people are doing that they are collecting the requirements. First thing, contracts has been done with the company of Infosys to the Mankind. The contract was done. And in the second level, the Infosys people went to the client place. That means went to the mankind. They have collected the requirements of it. How their production unit will be there, where the production units will be there, and as well as how many of the companies will be there. And they have collected everything, whatever the requirements of the company, they have collected all the requirements from the client. And after collecting the requirements from the client, the TCS or Infosys people developing a software. That means I am in require one software. For making of that software, I have given the contract to the Infosys. Now, Infosys people are developing a software as per my requirement. So, simply here, developing of a new software in the sense of they are inventing the new one. They are inventing the another software, the new software. This is the first procedure. This is the one procedure which we can call as a development. This is the one option which I am having. And the second option which I am having, one is the development of a new software. And the second choice which I am asking that instead of developing a new software, is there any existing software will be available? That means one software has been already developed by someone. It has been already developed. Even shall I directly purchase the software and I can use it? That will be the better choice for me. That means why? Because if it is developing of a new one in the sense of it will be takes a lot of the time and even it will be takes a lot of the money also. But what I am saying that instead of that developing of a new software, if I can make a purchase of the existing one wherever whatever it has been already developed, if I can directly purchase the software which is available and I can use it. This is the better choice. But the thing is, instead of developing the software, instead of using of the existing software, if I can go for the existing software which says, it will be good for me. But how much it was good in the sense of, whatever the existing software which is already there, that means the mankind can directly use that one. But we can't say that this existing software will reaches the requirement of the mankind. Why? Because this existing software cannot be made for myself in the sense of for the mankind. It was a universal. Anybody can use that one. In this situation, if I can take this existing software, I need to compromise with the existing one. Instead of this, I am giving another choice. What it was that existing some software has been already developed. We need not to develop again, but we can make the modifications of that existing software. We can use the modifications of that existing software as per the mankind requirement. This is in a third option. As like as here I am having the three choices. One is to maintain or develop the new one. And the second one is using of the existing one. And the third one will be the using of the existing one as per my requirement. If I can go for the first option, it will be takes a lot of the time and the money. I am not interested to go for it. Why? Because there is an option will be there to use the existing one. If I can use the existing one, I need to compromise with the existing one. Why? Because it will not reach my requirement. Instead of that, if I can take the existing one and I can make the modifications as per my requirement, this was the better choice. So I have taken the choice of the third one. The third choice or the option which we are calling as an ER. What exactly it was? It was an ER. So I need to make my organization into the segmentation of the ERP. So now, what's an ERP? What's exactly by the ERP means? So E, enterprise, means enterprise. R, resources. And a P, plan. Maybe it was an abbreviation of the ERP. If anybody is asking that what do you mean by the ERP, we can simply say that it's an enterprise resource planning. Okay, that will be great. That means enterprise resource planning in the sense of enterprise is nothing but again our company or organization. Let's take it as a mankind. And the resources, as which we discussed in the 10 departments will be there. Finance, sales, HR, production, purchase, warehouse, and all these things which we can call as the resources. And we will make all those resources into the one particular planning procedure as per their requirement, which we can call as an ERP. Now, what exactly by the ERP in the sense of enterprise resource planning? That means if there is a company or any organization which is depending upon a lot of the resources, we will make all those resources into the one particular planning procedure, and that particular planning procedure which we will be calling as an ERP. That's great. That was an ERP. Now I have decided to go for the ERP for my man. Now what will be my problem is, if I have decided to go for the ERP, under that ERP is also there is a lot of the production. Let's take an example of Oracle Finance and as well as PeopleSoft, Siebel, Band, ZD Edwards, as like as SAPs also will be there. So if I am having like this a number of the ERP packages, what my problem is that which one I need to choose. See, here I am having a number of the ERP packages. Oracle Finance, PeopleSoft, Siebel, Band, ZD Edwards, and a lot. But my question is, for my mankind, which one I need to choose from these ERPs? In the situation, what I'm doing that I'm comparing for each and every one. I'm comparing each and every one which is the better for me. And the situation, first of all, I had taken the Oracle Finance. It was good. But how much it was good in the sense of, for my company of the financial applications, it was good. Financial applications. That means, if I can take in the Oracle Finance can be used for only for the financials. As like as the PeopleSoft can be used for the HR, and the Siebel is used for the CRM, and as well as the Band for the production and purchasing activities, and the ZD Edwards is for the sales. But that means if I am having the 10 departments, I need to choose the 10 different ERP packages. That means each and every ERP package is completely working for the particular type of the applications only, not for all the applications of the company. That means here, if you can take in any of the ERPs, those ERPs doesn't consist of the integration with the other ERPs. That means the problem which I am facing with all these ERPs is the integration. If I am doing my company as a computerized, what would be my major requirement is, I need to maintain all my company under one roof. But in this situation, everyone will be there separate. I don't want to make that much of the investment for this one. That means, as a mankind person, what I am asking is, for my all 10 departments has to be maintained in a software, and that software should be in a integrated. Should be integrated for all my 10 departments. All departments. That will be my requirement. But all these are not supported for that one. In this situation, I'm having the last choice, which was called as an SAP. And it's not a SAP. It will be purely called as an SAP. Why? Because it's not in a single word, it is a combination of the individual letters. Here, S means systems, A applications, and P products. So here it was a systems, applications, products. Systems, applications, products in data processing. Now, when you are facing off an interview, the interview is asking that, okay, Mr. Prashant, can you tell me about what is an SAP? Then we can confidently say that it's a systems, applications, products, and data processing. That will be great. That was an abbreviation of the SAP. I want a clear definition of this. Then what we said that if there is a company or any organization, which we will be calling as a system, and that particular company or organization is running with a lot of the applications. That means a lot of the transactions or any applications, which we will be calling as applications, and all those applications has been divided into the different departments, different departments, and those departments which we will be calling as products. That means if there is a company or any organization is in a system, and those system is working with a lot of the transactions which we will be called as applications, and all those applications has been divided into the different departments, which we are calling as products, and we need to convert into one particular data processing work, and that particular data processing work which we can call as SAP. And is this SAP package is consist of the integration, is it okay? But if it is having the integration, how it works? Or else if it is doesn't having the integration, why it works? That means till now we have done about of the SAP. Now we will make the histrionics of the SAP. The SAP package has been invented by the company name of the SAP AG on 1972, and it has been located at the World of City, and this World of City is based at Germany. So one company named with SAP AG has been invented this one, and this SAP AG wants to develop a new software with the name of the SAP, and it consists of all the integration parts. So that's why these SAP AG people has been started the research. But what they have done, that they have started the research from the world's smallest organization to highest organization. Why? Because it depends upon the company wise, their business transactions will be different. Say for example, in my company, and MM point of view, what I am saying that in my company I am manufacturing one product, but it was a standard product. It will be going to manufacturing within a single company, single client. And another client is saying that I am manufacturing one product, but that product can be manufactured into the different plants. Say for example of cars. Car engine has been manufactured in the production unit of the Delhi, and as well as body has been manufactured in the Mumbai, and chassis and the power steerings and all the other things will be manufactured in the something Mysore, and everything has been assembled in the Noida. That means each and every individual valuation of the product will be comes with the individual plant. That is called as a valuation area, and as well as that valuation areas has been grouped in together is called as a valuation group, and as well as by this valuation group we have made this finished product, and that is the finished product which we can call as a valuation class. This is my requirement. Maybe if we can go for the another company, they said that I am having only one plant, that manufacture plant is one thing, and my product will be manufacturing on this. So depends upon the company wise it will be changed. That's why what they have done, that they have collected requirements from all the companies, not only for the one company. They are collected from all of the company codes, and as well as they have collected all the global countries requirement. Why? Because it depends upon the company wise, and as well as depends upon the country wise also it will be changes. The requirements of the companies will be changes by company wise, and as well as the country wise also. Depends upon the country wise how it will be possible. Say for example, for the Indian companies it was an April to March. For the US based companies it was in Jan to December. For the African based companies it will be the different. And that depends upon the company wise and depends upon the country wise also it will be changes. That's why these SAP people has been started research with all the companies and as well as all the countries. So they have collected everything from all of the companies and as well as all of the countries also. And whatever they have collected from all the companies and the countries, they want to put all together into the one software. That means they require one language and the database to develop this. And the situation they can use directly with the C, C++, or Java, or .NET, or any language, or SQL, or Oracle, any database. But instead of this, these people has been developed their own language which is called as an ABAP. That means I am having all the requirements and I want to put all the requirements into one software. At that time, what I have done that I have developed my own language instead of using with the other languages. I have taken my own language that was called as an ABAP, and by using of that ABAP language, by using of that ABAP language, I made the development of this SAP from the SAP. That means the SAP has been developed by the ABAP. It has been already developed. And here, now myself is in a mankind will be there. It has been already developed software. In the ERP, the first tool will be there. It should not be developed. It has been already developed. Okay, done. And even if the client wants to make the modifications of this SAP also, it can be. But that should be by the department. That means the integration. Here this SAP consists of lot of the functionalities. The technical is that ABAP, and it has been divided into a lot of the department, which we can call those departments as the name functionals. Now the SAP is consist of a lot of the departments which is called as functionalities, and as well as I am in require some of the functionalities. I am in require the 10 functionalities. As which we discussed, the mankind consists of the 10 departments. 10 departments. That means all my 10 departments has been integrated under one SAP package. That means automatically the integration will be possible. That means I am having one integrated ERP package with the name of SAP. With the name of SAP. Now this SAP has been already manufactured, and the mankind is also wants to use the SAP, but they can't directly purchase this SAP and they can't use it. Why? Because which we said that this SAP has been not meant for myself. It was in a universal. That's why what we need to do that as in a mankind, I have given the contract. As in a mankind, I have given the contract to the, see, myself is in a mankind. I want to use the SAP. Excuse me. I want to use the SAP. For that purpose, I have given the contract to the Infosys. In the Infosys, what will happen? The first level of the Infosys is called as a project preparation. That means the project preparation phase of the Infosys, they have taken the contracts from the mankind. They have taken the contracts from the mankind. That means how much of the time it will take and how much of the cost it will be, and when we need to pay something and something, everything. The contracts have been done with the mankind to the Infosys. And in the Infosys next level, which is called as a BBP, which we can call as a business blueprint. That means the business analyst of the Infosys people has been came to the mankind. That means the mankind people has been received the, has been giving the requirements to the Infosys. That means that which is what the clients are there and everything. And in the third level, it will be called as a realization. From the realization here, whatever the second level people has been collected the requirements from the as a BBP, they are taking all those requirements and they are making those requirements into the SAP system. And they are making those requirements into the SAP system. And after collecting of those requirements into the SAP and after making those requirements into the SAP, the SAP package has been done. But that can be used by the user level, not for the ourselves. That means whatever the software package has been done or developed in Infosys, that is using by the mankind forms. That means we need to give the training also to them. That's what we can call as a testing and training to the users. How to use those of the SAP package and as well as how they can utilize this SAP package as per their requirements. That as the fourth level of the testing and training. And at last, it was going to the go live and support. So actually, one E to E in the sense of these five levels will be clubbed in. What is an E to E in the sense of end-to-end implementation? In this end-to-end implementation, we are using a lot of the tools like sandbox, logboxes, and all those things. And a lot of the things will be there. But whenever the clients wants to use into the SAP system, they need to follow this five levels. By using of these five levels, we will be always in the realization. That means being as a consultant, we are working as a realization phase in between of the mankind to SAP. That means we can confidently say that Mr. Mano is the person which is working as a consultant. Mr. Mano is working as a consultant for mankind farmers in the area of the SAP materials management. In the area of the SAP materials management. But how it will be in the sense of and what we need to do when the client is required, giving their requirements and everything. And the situation, if you people can observe here, I will show the contents of these things. Let us see the contents of the SAP here and especially with the MM. Let's see. These are the contents which we are having in the SAP MM. As which is said that as per the client requirement, if the client has been given the requirement like this, what are their organization? That means what is the client's company? Mankind group of the companies. What is their company code? Mankind farmers. Under the mankind farmers, they are having the costing area of MAN1. They are having the plants in the different areas. Something one is in the Pune and one is in the Mumbai and something. How they are making their plants and where their plants will be there, and as well as how many storage locations they are having, and what are the different types of the purchasing organizations, purchasing groups they have. And after completion of this organization structure, if the client is having the different types of the materials, this is what we can call as an MMR data. What is an MMR in the sense of material master records data? Under this material master, the client can have the materials of the raw material, semi-finished, packing, finish, chemicals, cartons, packing material, liquid forms, and a lot of the materials will be there. And how we can maintain all those materials? That's what we can call as a creation of the material types of the material groups. And when creation of the material, what was the number has to be given for the material. And also changing of the display of the material master. Now we got the material of the vendor. That is, we got the material of the client, what they are having. And even the client is having a lot of the vendor masters, how they can create their vendor masters. What are the requirements to create their vendor masters? That's what we can call as a vendor master data. It will be called as a K data. That means on SAP K in the sense of vendor. K data. And if I'm having my plant and the company code and everything, and also my material and also the vendor, and now I need to make an order with the vendor. For that, what is the purchase information report? That means when we want to make an order to the vendor, how we will prepare that purchase order. For making of the purchase order, what will be the requirements here? That was in a purchase information record, and after that, how to make the sources for that one and the quota. For the North India, of the Delhi for this month or for this period, we are allotting the Ford vehicles of the Ford Ertiga. The maximum sale will be the 2000 quantity. That was an one quota. And for the South India, for the Mysore campus, under the Mysore, we can have the maximum of the sale is the 1000 quantity. That means we are going to manufacturing of that one, and we need to purchase those of the raw materials also. As per that quota, what are the purchase requisition which we are having? And again of that requisition, we need to ask the quotation to the from the vendor. Whenever we are receiving the quotations, whenever we are receiving the quotation from the vendor, what would be the price confirmation? That means which quotation has to be acceptable. That means which quotation we need to make it confirmation. So this quotation has been confirmed. As per that quotation, we need to send the purchase order to the vendor. When we sending the purchase order to the vendor is asking that, okay, boss, you are giving the order, but as per your order, I need to manufacture this product. In the situation, if I made the manufacturing of the raw material or something, whatever, after that you said that I don't want, it will be collapses for myself also. Can you make some agreement in between of vendor and the our company mankind? What is the contracts and the agreements? Whether it is the value contract or the quantity contract or the quality contract, or else it is a scheduling agreement contract, what it will be. And after making of the purchase order, if the purchase order has been received by the vendor by the RFQ, requisition, and from there, when the vendor has been sending the stocks to us, what would be the pricing for that? Is it was a tax included or excluded? If the tax excluded, how it will be? If it is a tax included, how it was? And we will make all those things by using the pricing. And even the external service managements. If the product has been purchased from the external, and if it was something was cancelled, as like as in a contract, or something has been damaged, we need to make a service agreement also for them. And as well as the different types of the optimized purchasing. That means we have made a purchase of the raw material from the vendor or packing material or semi-finished or whatever it was. That has to be comes into the our plant or our storage location by using the IMS. IMS in the sense of inventory management systems. That is called as a GR. Whenever the GR was done, where that GR, that goods has been located in the physical inventory of ours. Even in that physical inventory, is there any special stocks will be there in generally which we are calling as a special procurement in the sense of maybe in the next month it will be having a use of the requirement will be there for that product. There was a use requirement will be there for that product. In the situation, what we are doing that we are making some special orders for that. That means advance bookings, or else we will make that product in advance from the vendor, which those types of which we can call as a special procurement of the stocks. And after making of the special procurement and everything which we have received, from there, as which I discussed, what is the moving price and what is the average price? Why? Because as per the BOM it will be changes. If the product has been completely manufactured in the Delhi, it will be takes some batch number of the XYZ. The price will be the sum by. If the product has been manufactured in the Hyderabad, the batch number is in a ABC. That will be the cost of the sum XYZ, not in the Y, it was in a B. As like that depends upon that, it will be changes. And all those things can be done by the valuations. That spans which we can have a valuation area, valuation group, valuation class, and moving price and average price, and as well as the global categories. If it is from the other country, what we have. And even including with this, we need to make the FICV integration. Especially, why should we need to make the FI integration and the CV integration in the MM in the sense of the major thing from the FI is CV, taxation. That's what we can call as a country India version. Whatever the FI people has been prepared the taxation, that is called as an input taxes, under that is a VAT or a GST or ST or something, whatever in the SIN, that has to be integrated with the MM. How it will be. And even When the procurement has been generated and the price will be increased from the last month. From the last month it was the raw material cost of the 5 rupees, now it will be the 10 rupees. Now automatically the cost of the product also will be increases. That is going to be handled by the costing department. And as well as purchase requisition will becomes with the SD. If we are not having the stocks on our hand, that will be goes to the PP, which is called as an MRP. From the MRP also, from that MRP only, we will make the receiving of a, sorry, we will make the receiving of that's what it is. We will make the receiving of purchase requisition. That's why the integration with the SD. Whenever the requisition has been generated, it has to be checked that whether the stocks are not available or available. Whether if it is not available, we need to start up the thing. Then we will go for the MM with production plan. And whenever we have purchase of the raw material, making the purchase to plan, that means PM, process management to material management. And after that, the received with the stock, raw material or something. If the quality is okay or not, PM with MM. That means F5 with SIM to the MM with to the purchase requisition, MM to the production MRP, and PP to the, sorry, PM to the MM, and quality to the M. So these all are the things which we will be including in this MM course. So is it right, Mr. Santosh and Manu?
Prashant and
Yes,
Manu,
sir.
sir.
Prashant, sorry, Prashant. Yeah, Prashant.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
sir.
okay.
It's okay, but in you come to MM and FI part, you will teach us like GST. Now upcoming is coming now for GST and SIN
That's
both.
what, see, that's what I said then. In the SIN, we are having the VAT, excise, ST, and also the EDC. Even the
Yes, sir.
GST configurations also has been already released. In the ECC
Okay, sir. Okay.
in HP6 that has been also released. And I will
Okay.
show how it will be customized. That's for sure. But
Okay,
the
sir.
thing is,
Okay, sir.
I don't know exactly the slab system.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
because the slab system will be different by company, product by product, it will be different. But what I am saying that
Okay. Okay.
I will show the model, it will be like this. The customization part I will show you. There is not an issue for me.
Okay, sir.
What exactly the percentage is, even I
Sir,
don't know.
actually,
Nobody's know that one.
in that MRP will include to PP model, right? MRP,
The
material
main,
requirement planning.
the
So
major,
like
the
MRP, batch management,
that's what
Okay.
MRP
and
and
vendor
batch
evaluation.
management and vendor evaluations and everything will be, most of the time will be covered by the PP. But the thing is,
Okay.
we are importing those the PP also into this MM. Why? Because without
Yes,
of
sir.
that
Yes, sir.
one, the MRP, we can't able to make the valuation of the product. That's
Yes, sir.
why
Yes, sir.
in the integration, if you can observe here, the MM requires a lot of the integration. FI is required, CY is required, and SD required for the PR, purchase requisition. For PP is required for MRP. For PM is required when it has to be manufactured, and when we are receiving the material, whether the quality is good or not, for that by
Okay.
QM. That's why we need to integrate with all these things without a fail.
Okay, sir.
Why? Because if you can fail of anything of the integration, it will not complete. The complete MM was
Yes, sir.
not finished. And even
but
what
vendor evaluation comes under MM, na, sir?
vendor evaluations will become under MM, and which I have mentioned in the AP, vendor master data. Here see vendor account groups, number ranges, assignment of the number ranges, and creation of the vendor master, and as well as the one-time vendor, including with that
Yes.
when we are making the vendor, what are the vendor evaluations will be there, and even vendor partner determinations also will be there. That is an evaluation actually.
Yeah,
For
partners.
example, so there is
Partners.
a partner determination for the vendor. That will be also including here. But the major thing is, Manu, here I can't able to add the more points. Why? Because it was a 2 pages. See,
Okay,
Okay.
sir. Okay.
I will show the step-by-step process also I am having. Just a second. This one. Just a second. No? I will show you. See, this is the point by point. Company code, controlling area, evaluation area, plant, storage location, purchase organization, organizational units, and assignment. Like this, all these things will be covered. Everything.
Okay, sir. Okay.
But it will be takes na, when anybody is seeing this, it will be takes the nearby 7 pages will be there. If the student got
Yeah,
this
yeah.
7 pages of the course content, immediately they will be faint. That's what I'm not using this one. This is mine actually. Isn't the both are mine? You can see SS
Okay, sir.
Information Technology. See here, whatever the Mr. Prashant or Manu has been asked, serial number management, version management, batch management, blanket of PO, and the pipeline scenario, and the reservations and MRP with the CBP, Credit Management Bureau, and as well as the warehouse management, and everything will be there. Not an issue for that. See, it was at 7 pages of the question.
Okay, sir.
That's what I did. Now, is it clear? Mr. Prashant and
Yes,
Manu?
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's clear.
Yeah, right, Manu and Prashant. Already Arjun is waiting after making the class. I will call you. And even if you are any doubt,
Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
already you are having my number, you can call up me. Not a problem. Even if you are ready to make the
Okay.
Yes,
session
sir. Okay, sir.
from tomorrow onwards, also we will make it by in between of the 7:15 or 7:30. We will start. It's not an issue. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Right.
sir.
Right. Have a nice
Yeah.
day. Take
Okay,
care.
sir.
Good night.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Arjun, hello.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Arjun. Sorry for the delay. It was a little bit late with your
No
friend.
problem, sir.
Just a
Yes, sir.
second, just a second.
No problem.
Okay. 1 minute, 1 minute. 1 minute.
Sir, after the class, I wanted to talk to you personally, sir.
No problem at all. You can. We will make a
So,
discussion.
one of my friend is there.
Sorry?
One of my friend is there, sir.
Okay.
So, he got a job in Pune.
Uh-huh.
His client is KPMG.
Oh, super client. Okay.
The thing is, he has given as a 3 years of experience, sir, and he joined the company itself.
Hmm.
Now they have put him into a support project.
They are putting the support.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
With respect to sin,
Hmm. Okay.
the thing is, he knows some part of the sin.
Hmm. But not exactly.
His model is SD, sir.
That's what. He's in FI. He's in SD or FI?
And yes, sir. Yes, sir. He is very close to me.
No,
He is
no.
also Andhra, sir. He is from Vijayawada.
Myself, I am in from Vijayawada. My
Oh,
native
is
place
it,
is
sir?
my native place is Vijayawada, but I'm saying
Okay, sir.
from the past of the 10 years in Delhi. That's why instead of the
Okay.
Telugu, that means I can know very well in Punjabi and Hindi also.
Okay, sir. Okay.
No problem at all. We will
So
make.
the thing is, his concern is, you want support, it seems.
Hmm. Which type of the support
Support
is
in the
needed?
sense, if you get,
Hmm.
so the thing is, if he gets any issues, okay, sir.
Hmm. Okay.
For that, you need a support, it seems,
Hmm.
and is ready to pay the fees.
Acha, acha. That means what you are expecting, what he is expecting exactly is when he is in work location also, he is getting any problems,
Yes, sir. If
he is
yes,
sending
sir.
that issue to me and I need to make a
Ye-
guidance for him. Is it right?
Yes, sir. Exactly. Exactly. Yes, sir.
No problem. Already we are having some of the people like that also. One of the person is which is
Okay.
working in a
Shall I share?
working in Seal Infotech, and we are
Okay,
doing
sir.
the regularly support for them. But what the thing is,
Okay.
the major problem there it was in the morning time I am not available. Most of the time I am in classrooms. That's why
Okay, sir.
when he is sending those things, whatever the issues which he is having,
Yes, sir.
if we can send those of the
Yes,
things
sir.
in the evening session, after even if it is at 10 o'clock or
Okay, sir.
11 p.m. or 12 p.m. also, I will make the support. Not an issue.
Okay, sir.
But not in the daytime.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Then
If
shall I
he,
share your number to him, sir?
no problem at all. You can. I am always. Make him into
Okay, sir.
call also in the
Then I will
evening
tell
time.
him. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Then I will tell him, and I will share your number.
Hmm.
He may give you a call, sir, when you're free, sir, in the morning, so that I'm.
Tomorrow you can call up. Not a problem at all. No problem. Even I am in the
So
classroom
at
also.
what time shall I tell him to call you, sir?
By 9 to 10:30 I will be free.
From 9 to 10. Okay, sir.
Even if you can call also I will meet you. Not an issue.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay.
Right. Let us start with ours.
Yes, sir. We'll share.
Right. Let us see now. And today we are going to discuss about of the FIGLS. What's the name? GLS in the sense of which we are calling as a name General Ledger Settings. General Ledger Settings. Now here we are going to discuss about of the FI General Ledger Settings. So just a second, Mr. Right. FIGLS. That means in finance, what was the general ledger settings which we are having? That's what we require. See, for example, myself is a client. I am asking about a multiple of the ledgers. That means from my side, I am in require a number of the general ledgers. But being as a consultant, what you will be, your work will be there here it is. Whenever I want to create any general ledgers, how to prepare those ledgers. That means for creation of a general ledgers, what would be my requirements will be there. That's what my situation. As a client, they have given a lot of the ledgers, the thousands of the lakhs of the ledgers they have given. But for creation of those of the ledgers, what we need to do? That means what would be the requirements for that one. So here, in this requirement, first of all, we need to make the first one, which is called as a chart of accounts. The first thing will be the chart of accounts. In generally, what do you mean by a chart of accounts in the sense of a chart of accounts is nothing but like a set or a group of accounts for a particular company code. For a particular company code. So what is a chart of accounts in the sense of chart of accounts is a set or a group of accounts for a particular company code, which we are calling as a chart of accounts. Simply we can say that it's in a shelf. That means I am having a lot of ledgers. For maintaining of all those ledgers into a separate books, first of all I need a shelf. That shelf which we are calling as a chart of accounts. And after that creation of the shelf, we need to, that means the first step will be the edit chart of accounts. That means create the chart of accounts. And after that, whatever the chart of accounts which we have created, that means the shelf or rack, whatever we have created, that we need to put into that one our company. That means which we can call as a assign chart of accounts to company code. And the third one is account groups. That means first of all I have done my shelf. My shelf has been prepared. And after that, that shelf has to be put into the company code. First of all, I have created one shelf and the shelf has to be put into the company code. Under that shelf or a rack, what are the my required account books? What are the required account books? These account books can be differed by company. That means client by client, it was a differ. As like as your client is asking about a lot of the ledgers and how you can segregate all those ledgers into the different groups, which is called as an account groups. And at the last, we are having one more requirement, which we will be calling as an retained earnings. Define retained earnings account. So what's an retained earnings account in the sense of whatever the client is having the previous year balances. That means when the company closes the current financial year, whatever the closing balance will be there, that closing balances has to be transferred to the next years of the balance sheet. Next years of the balance sheet. How that will be happens by through this company or something model. That's what we can call as a retained earnings account. First one is what is the general ledger settings in the sense of the general ledger settings define a chart of accounts. What do you mean by the chart of accounts? It is a set or a group of accounts of a particular company code. And the second thing is we need to assign that chart of accounts to the particular company code. And the third one, whatever the client requires about of the different types of the account books or account groups, we need to maintain all those account groups or the account books or any account books. We need to maintain all those things into our company. That means our chart of accounts. That's what we can call as a third step. And at last, if the client is having in the previous year of the balances, and what we need to make that previous year balance. That means what to do. That's what we can call it as a define a retained earnings account. So whenever the client is asking about the general ledgers, we need to customize about all these three things. The first one will be the edit chart of accounts, and the second one will be the assigning the chart of accounts to the company code, and at last assigning of the chart of accounts to Maintaining of the account books or account groups as per the client requirement, and maintaining of the opening balances for the chart of accounts. This is what we can call as a 4 customization settings which we need to done here. Now from here, let me log in first. We are doing the PENA. For that, first of all, log in. Log on. And my user ID and my password. For making of all these things, we are having the menu path of the SPRO, SAP Reference IMG. Under that, financial accounting global settings. And again, sorry, not the financial accounting global settings. It was in the general ledger accounting and the GL accounts, and as well as master data and the preparations. Under that, edit chart of accounts list. That means, first of all, what is the menu path is SPRO and SAP Reference IMG is the common. From there, it was doing the financial accounting. From that financial accounting, we are making the general ledgers. For the general ledgers creations, what is the preparations? Under the preparations, what is the shelf name which you are? Let's go for here and select the new entries. I am giving here it is in a PENC. So simply I am saying that it was in a chart of accounts for the company code of the PENA. And what is the language which you are using is English. And what is the length of the GL account number we need to maintain? See, the length of the GL account number is nothing but like how much of the ledgers we can create. That means, which we said that we need to prepare in a one shelf. Is that shelf can consist of the how many of the ledgers here, but it is not asking about the number range. It will be asking about the number length. That means you are preparing a ledger shelf. That shelf can consist of how much of the ledger books. That's what exactly it is. How much of the ledger books. For that, it's a maximum of 10 digit length it will be accepted. That means max we can make up to the 10 digits. 10 digit length of the general ledgers we can create, but what would be your required? What would be your required? How much of the ledger numbers you want to maintain here? That's what is the requirement here. But the maximum of the general ledger numbers we can create up to the 10 digits, but yourself how much you want we can. That means if I can take in the 5 digits, that means I can create the general ledgers. I can create the general ledgers from here from 0 to 5 digits in the sense of 9,99,999. That means I can create the general ledgers up to that much. Up to that much of the ledgers I can create here. That's what we are calling as a defined chart of accounts or maintain the chart of accounts. And after this, if we can come back here, we need to assign this shelf to our company code. We need to assign this shelf for our company code. That means assign company code to chart of accounts. Assign company code to chart of accounts. Assign company code to chart of accounts. There here, select the position button. What will be the company code? PENA. Under that PENA, under this PENA, I am in require the chart of accounts of PENC. Means my chart of accounts is PENC. That I have created one shelf, and that shelf has been putting into the company code. Shelf has been putting into the company code. That company code is so and so, so and so. That was also done. That was also done. And as well as we need to create the account groups. That means account books under that shelf. need to create the account books under the shelf. In this situation, select new entries. What would be the client required books? Your wish. You can make it anything. Let's take the first of all the shelf PENC. I need the liabilities. And the liabilities I am required for to maintain the ledgers from 1 to 49. That means I need a book under the shelf of the PENC, and that book consists of the pages from 1 to 49, and each and every page I can put it in a separate ledgers. Separate ledgers. And again, I am required the PENC with the assets, and I am required the assets from 50 to 99. And don't make your mind to maintain these of the ledgers within a serial order. We can make as per the client's requirement. If you have to maintain it in a sequential order, we can make up to from 1 to 99999 finance. We can make up to that much, but there is no rule to maintain within a serial order. And as well as in the PENC, I can have the capitals also, and it was from 100 to 149. And in the PENC, I am require the one more incomes, and which I am required from 150 to 199, 150 to 199. And in the PENC, I am in required of the expenses. Even don't data require record of the maintaining with the 50 or 100. You can maintain as per your wish, something like that. So initially, I am required these of the account books. Done. The client has been given the requirement, and as per the requirement, we have done those of the. Excuse me. As per the requirement, we have done these of the account books also, and as well as which we are saying that return earnings. What would be the return earnings in the sense of? Excuse me. What would be the return earnings in the sense of? Depends upon the client's opening balance. That opening balance has to be carried forward into the next year of the balance sheet. We need to maintain the return earnings. In this chart of accounts, see what we do is BAL. Balance has to be carried forward from the P&L. If the balance is anything, that has to be carried forward to the liabilities. For the liabilities, we have maintained from 1 to 49. Where I am giving that 49 and make it safe. So when the client is,
So what is plus and minus, sir?
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If the client is having, or the company is having the closing balance as in the P&L statement, whether it was a debit balance or a credit balance. See, which I said that
Oh, okay, sir.
if the client is having the either debit balance or credit balance, that debit balance or credit balance which we are calling as a plus or minus, and
Yes,
in
sir.
the top which we are given the transaction is BAL in the chart of accounts of the PNC.
Yes, sir.
In the chart of accounts of the
Yes, sir.
PNC, the balance has to be carried forwarded from the profit and loss statement if it is the debit or a credit. Why? Because this is not for this year. For the previous year, that balance it has to be carried forward to the next year. That's why we will make the transfer into the next year of the liabilities. That's why we are making this. Either it will become or not. That's why we will make it in the liability. That is called as an return.
Okay.
Okay then. Now, as per the client requirements, we have done with the general ledger settings also. But we don't have the general ledgers till now. We don't have the ledgers. We have maintained the ledger settings only, not the ledgers. For making of those of the ledgers, from here, GL accounts, master data, GL account creation and processing, and as well as edit GL account and edit GL account centrally. And edit GL account centrally. Even instead of this menu part, we are having one more also, the menu part. That was from easy access group. Accounting, financial accounting, financial accounting, and then general ledger, and master record, GL accounts, individual person, center. Either we can use this one also. Either we can use anything. Either that or this. So here FS00. The transaction code will be the FS0000. This was the transaction code for creation of a general ledger account. The both, if you can see, both will be showing the same screen. Even sometimes, if the screen will be not showing like this, you can go for the settings, hierarchy displaying, settings, hierarchy displaying, do not display the navigation. And sometimes the screen will be like this. But we can make the transfer of this one, settings, hierarchy display, display navigation. Now, if you can come back and now open, we can get the hierarchy situation. So this is what we can call as an a general ledger creation screen. From here, first of all, I am going to create the liabilities. Create it. The first button, which is called as a find, create, display, edit, copy, log, delete. Not the delete, it was a set for the deletion. That means do not use. Change or copy, and as well as update and the print. Now, you don't have anything. That's why we are going for the create. So when I'm going to the create, first of all it asking that, when I'm going to the create, first of all it asking that, which ledger number you want to create. I want to create the ledger number 1. That's was we are taking the 1 to 49 the ledger numbers for liabilities in the company code of PENC. Yeah, sorry, PENA. See, in the type description. Here it will be showing this. So you have taken the something. That means you have taken the ledger number 1. Is it will be represents the assets? No. It will be showing an error message. Why? Because the assets which you have defined from 50 to 99. But here we are using to create a general ledger of the 1. It will not support with this one. That's why let us make the another one. Yes, it will works. That means we are going to create the general ledger. Excuse me. So it is, right? It was in the liabilities, and the liabilities at the end of the financial year, all the liabilities has to be shown in the balance sheet. What is the liability in the sense of it was not completely the income, it was not completely the expense. That means we have received some stock from the external, but it is not income. And even we are paying to them, it's not an expense. Why? Because whatever we have received, we have given to them. That's type of the transactions or the type of the things which we can call as a liabilities. In the liabilities, what is the ledger you want? I want to create the liabilities of the secure loans. Secure loans. That means I have given something to them, the gold or the mortgage or something, whatever. They are paying against of that something, that whatever I have given. That's why it is called as a secure loan. And the credit card and the personal loans are not a secure loans, those are the unsecured loans. But here I am discussing about the secure loans. This was in the first screen of the type description. And if I can go for the control data, now it's asking that do you want to maintain these are the transactions only in the balances of local currency? Yes. Why? Because that means the balance sheet can consist the data which is having only with the local currency. That means only with the INR. If your currency, if your company code is currency is INR, you can use only the INR. If your company code is in a USD, you can use only the USD. If your company code is something, you can use only those things. That means depends upon the company's currency, all the liabilities transactions has to be done by the currency of local currency. The local currency which means of the company code currency. And the next, if we can come down here, is this ledger in before of posting of any transaction, is this ledger consist or can have, is this ledger can consist or can have any balances or not? Yes, mostly, which we said that the previous year balance will be carried forward into this year. That means this ledger here can have the opening balances here. That's why we will make this as an opening management will be there. And even whatever the transactions which has been done and that's ledger, and when we are watching that report, when we are watching that report by using this, it can be shown with the itemized list. And also the sort key. That means you want to see the report. Fine. But that report has to be shown for years with the how, with the date of posting. And even in the create bank interest, which type of the ledger it was, that means the field status group, as we discussed yesterday, in the field status group, depends upon the ledger, the transaction fields will be changed. As it is when you are posting the transaction by using this ledger, how this has to be shown. That means how it will be accessed. It should be accessed in a cost account, or a material account, or a bank account, or which type of the account it was in. Simply I am saying that it has to be accessed in a general account. And save it. And I could say now see the data was saved. Even it will be showing the some other company code here. Simply you can click on this change company code and give your company code. Only your list will be showing here. Only list of your ledgers will be showing here. List of your ledgers will be shown here. And now in the liabilities, I have created like that. Even if I want to create another ledger in the same like in the liabilities, same like as in a secure loans. Again, I don't want to create this one. Select this and make it copy. Whatever the data which I am consist of the one in the company code of the BN1, I want to make a copy of 2. That means all the ledger data from the secure loans has to be came into the ledger of 2. But here I want to change the short text of these liabilities of the secure loans into the outstanding expenses. And all the things are the same. No need to create again. Salt. As I guess, copy each. 3. Whatever it was. Current liabilities. And save it. Even we can copy the ledgers not only with the same account group, but also with the other than the account groups also we can. That means we can copy the ledgers not only from one account group to one account group, even from the one account group to another account group also we can make it. So like this, if you can observe here, I am copying from the current liabilities and I am copying from the current liabilities and I am making the copy to the 50. That means the 50 which I have taken for assets. But if I can choose with the liabilities, it will be good than error. But if you can go for this one, it will be the perfect. Assets. In assets will be showing with the assets will be considered onto the balance sheet. Under that balance sheet of the assets, I am in require the cash in hand. Cash in hand. Cash in hand. And all the things are the same. And make it same. And again, 51. Cash at office. Cash at office. and save it. And even the bank accounts which I am having in my company code, which I am having the ICICI savings account, ICICI savings account. But whenever you have given the bank accounts, we need to change this as an Z005, and also it should be the relevant account. Make it same, and even copy it, make it 53, HDFC savings account, HDFC,
So why we are taking the relevant cash flow field, sir?
just a second. Arjun, your question is, why should we need to maintain the relevant cash flow? Is it right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right. Let me check it out. So here I am creating another one, current account, HDFC current account. In the same way, it consists of the balances in our currency, and it can consist of the opening balance, and also it having the line item and everything. In the trade bank interest, first thing is a G005. Why we need to use the G005 in the sense of yesterday we have discussed that in the previous class. When we are making the payment through the bank in the sense of it should require the check number and as well as the value date. Is it right? Already we have maintained those fields in the G005. That's why we are making this as an G005. The fields will be changed. And even why should this relevant to cash flow in the sense of in general you are having some cash in your pocket, for example, you can make the expense and you can somebody has been given some money also you can put into the your pocket, there is no issue. But in the bank account, whatever you are making the transactions, either it has to be recorded by the check or in a perfect bill also will be there. That means this bank account can make the transactions by through the check payments only. That means if you have not activated this relevant to cash flow for your bank account, it will be not supports for the BRS. That means I am making the payment to the some vendor, some XYZ vendor. I have made the payment of it. And after that, what I want to do that, I want to assign the check for the payment of it. That means I have made a payment through the check by this bank, but if I not given the relevant to cash flow, that will not support for the check payments. That's why the relevant to cash flow is most of the time which we are using for the making of the transactions through the bank, as like as which we can call as a BRS transactions. For making of the BRS transactions, we should maintain the relevant to cash flow. That means this account can accept the inflow and as well as the outflows also by through the other sources. Other sources in the sense of either it is an online payment or else the bill of exchange payment or else by through the check payment also. So whatever the payments which we are making or which we are receiving from the external in the sense of from the bank, and that bank should be, not can be, the bank should be relevant for the cash flow is in a manual for making of the external payments and all. Now clear, Mr.?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Done. And now let us go for another one. Let's make it in 100. The 100 which I have taken for the capitals. Here I am giving that equity share capital. Equity share capital. But the thing is, it's not required the relevant cash flow, and it is not in a bank. And make it sit. And even one more, 101 preferential capital. Preferential capital. it say. And even I can copy from this to the P&L also. Let's see, 150, 150, and as well as from here, it has to be changes from capital to incomes. Incomes will be considered to the P&L, and as well as it will be shown as an let's say a sales revenue. It was in a sales revenue. And the thing is, the P&L accounts doesn't consist of only balance in local currency. Why? Because we can make the payments, or we can make the receives the payments from the other countries also. That means it cannot be shown with the only balance of local currency. Even we can make the transaction with the other than the currency, which we can call as in a foreign trade also, which we can call as in a foreign exchanges and everything. And as well as it doesn't consist of the open item. Why? Because the general ledger of the profit and loss accounts is not having any opening balances, is not having any closing balances also. Why? Because at the end of the financial year, the balance amount has to be transferred to the next year's of the balance sheet. That means it doesn't consist of the any opening balances. That's why I'm not maintaining as an open item management. And even the short key will be the 001, that was on a posting date wise. But the thing is here, all the revenue accounts has to be shown as an A Z029. Why? Because all these are the revenues has to be shown for us as an a profit. That's why you're going to G029. And even one more we can see here, 151. Let's make it as an A. Cash discounts received. Cash discounts received. But here, the same thing. But one more field will be adding here, it is post automatically. That means we can't able to say that we have received the discount from them. It has to be shown with the supporting. That means that ledger doesn't postable directly. It has to be postable from the another support. That means when we are making the payment, then only this ledger automatically has to be postable, but not directly to the as in a general ledger, which those type of the accounts has to be shown as in a post automatically. Even you can post directly to the sales revenue. Even you can post it directly to the assets or liabilities or anything. But this cash discounts has to be automatically postable. We can't able to post the transaction directly with the transaction of the ledger. That's why it was a man. And even if you can go for the expenses from here, let's take the 200 here in the expenses, which I can take in the raw material purchases, but here it is on a G001, not post automatically, and make it C. And as well as 201, as in the same way, cash discount paid are given. Cash discounts paid are given. But even this also has to be made in the post order. And as well as rent paid. Rent paid. All the expenses, whatever you have to done, you can make it from it. And as well as salaries paid. Everything. That means all the expenses has to be postable like this. That means not the postables. All the postable ledgers has to be created like this. So this is what the general ledger creation. That means for the creation of the ledgers, we require some settings that is called as a chart of accounts, account group, and also the written earnings. After that, under the books, what are the ledgers which we require to maintain the ledgers? How to prepare those of the ledgers. Yeah, Arjun,
Yes, sir.
is it clear for yours?
One more question.
You can,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
you can.
So when we use a chart of a